What if I told you that a young man from a small town in India who once taught physics for just 5,000 rupees a month, which is about $60 a month, built an education empire now valued at $2.8 billion from YouTube? And what if I told you he did it by rejecting a $9 million salary offer because he believed education should be affordable for everyone? Today, we're diving into the incredible story of Alok Pandey, the founder of Physics Walla, and how he turned his passion for teaching into one of India's most successful edtech unicorns. And if you're a creator looking to monetize your channel better, a business owner looking to grow on YouTube, or someone who just wants to turn their content into a real business, you're gonna wanna pay close attention because this story isn't just inspiring, it's packed with practical lessons that you can apply to your own journey. Now, what makes this story particularly powerful is that Alok didn't start with special advantages or connections. He built something extraordinary from scratch, using the same tools available to any creator today. And this brings us to learning point number one. Start where you are with what you have, and start now. Alok started with just a smartphone, a whiteboard, and his knowledge. He didn't wait for perfect conditions or equipment. And for creators, this is a powerful reminder that you don't need fancy gear or substantial capital to begin building something valuable. And if you're confused about how to get started, I've created a free suite of AI-powered tools specifically designed to help content creators like you discover your perfect niche, generate compelling video ideas, and craft content that resonates with your audience. And you can check that out down in the description and the pinned comment below. And this isn't just another generic AI tool, it's been specifically trained on hundreds of hours of one-on-one coaching sessions. So don't miss out on this tool, check it out down below. Now let's get back into this incredible story. Alok Pandey was born in 1991 in Uttar Pradesh, and he was born to a family that struggled financially. And when he was just in third grade, his family had to sell half of their house to meet expenses. Later, they sold the entire house and moved to a rented apartment in a slum area. And by the time he was in sixth grade, Alok started tutoring younger students to help support his family. And every day he would cycle 5 kilometers to teach, earning around 200 rupees or $2.50 to contribute to his family's income. And this early experience of teaching out of necessity would later become a foundation of a multi-billion-dollar company. But more importantly, it teaches us our second key lesson. Learning point number 2 is turn your struggles into strengths. When faced with financial hardship, Alok didn't just find a way to survive, he discovered his talent and passion for teaching. So look at your own challenges, not just as obstacles to overcome, but as potential paths to your unique strengths. In other words, when life gives you lemons, turn it into lemonade. Now, as a student, Alok had dreams of getting into the prestigious Indian Institute of Technology, or IIT. And despite his hard work, he couldn't crack the entrance exam. So instead, he enrolled at Harcourt Butler Technical University for mechanical engineering. But here's where his story takes an interesting turn. Alok wasn't satisfied with the teaching methods at his college. And in his third year, he made a decision that would change his life forever. He dropped out to pursue his passion for teaching. Think about that for a moment. In a country where education is seen as the primary path to financial security, Alok chose to walk away from his engineering degree. That takes incredible courage and conviction. And this brings us to learning point number 3. Conventional paths don't always lead to success. Alok recognized that the traditional path wasn't working for him, and he had the courage to forge his own. For creators and entrepreneurs, sometimes the biggest opportunities lie outside of the conventional route. So don't be afraid to leave the beaten path if your instincts are pulling you elsewhere.
Quick break. This video is sponsored by me. Most of you don't know that I actually have my own coaching program on personal branding and then growing and making money on YouTube. And this is good for complete beginners, maybe even people who just want to get a job by growing their personal brand, all the way up to people who are very advanced on YouTube. And they get to work directly with myself and my team to help them reach their goals. Now, we are opening up 3 to 5 spots, and this is pretty rare. We usually don't have these open. We usually only limit them to select people. But we're opening up 3 to 5 spots, and you can check those out down in the description and the pinned comment below. And in this program, you'll get to work directly with myself and other people who are highly successful on YouTube. Just as an example, Sean was able to go all the way from being stuck, not making very much money on his channel, to making over $500,000 a month. Now, that's an example of one of my more advanced students, but there's lots of examples of people who started off from scratch and they got to 5K a month, 10K a month, etc. So check that out down in the description and the pinned comment below.
After leaving college, Alok began teaching physics at a coaching institute in Prayagraj. And I apologize if I'm mispronouncing a lot of these names and places. I'm doing my best. And he was earning just 5,000 rupees or around $60 per month. And he quickly realized that offline coaching had limited reach, especially for students from smaller towns and villages who couldn't afford expensive coaching classes. And this realization led Alok to another crucial insight that would shape his business approach. Learning point number 4 is to identify market gaps in underserved audiences. challenges. Alok recognized that millions of students in smaller towns and villages had no access to quality coaching. And for creators and entrepreneurs, finding underserved audiences with specific needs can be the foundation of a successful business. So in 2016, with an investment of just 30,000 rupees, or about $375, Alok started a YouTube channel called PhysicsWallah. And his goal was simple but ambitious: to provide quality physics education to students preparing for competitive exams like the JEE and the NEET, completely free of charge. Now, the beginning wasn't easy. His early videos barely got any views. And Alok once mentioned in an interview that his first videos would get 0 views, with just 2 likes, one from his mother and one from his sister. But he kept going, focused on improving his content rather than chasing views. And this brings us to learning point number 5. Consistency trumps initial results. Now, this is something that I tell my students all the time. You just have to consistently post. Much in the same way that the only way to get better at riding a bicycle is to actually jump on the bike and try to ride it, the only way to get better at YouTube is to consistently post on YouTube. And for the first year, Alok's channel barely gained traction, but instead of quitting, he focused on consistently improving his content. And for content creators, this is crucial. Don't judge your potential for success by your first few videos or posts. The compounding effect of consistent quality content is what builds a channel. And his perseverance paid off. By 2018, his channel had grown to 500,000 subscribers. By 2019, he had 2 million subscribers. And students were drawn to his unique teaching style, a blend of clarity, simplicity, humor, and genuine passion for the subject. Now, what really set Alok apart wasn't fancy production or flashy graphics. It was his authentic teaching style and his deep understanding of what his students actually needed. So learning point number 6 is authenticity resonates more than polish. PhysicsWallah didn't win because his slick production values. It won because Alok's teaching style was authentic, relatable, and genuinely effective. For creators, this is a powerful reminder that connecting authentically with your audience matters more than perfect production quality. Now, one of the most striking things about watching Alok teaching is his ability to break down complex topics into simple, digestible parts. He uses everyday analogies, humor, and a conversational style that makes students feel like they're learning from a friend rather than a distant authority figure. And while most educational content on YouTube follows traditional teaching methods, Alok developed his own style that prioritized clarity and engagement over formality. And this brings us to learning point number 7. Develop your unique voice and style. Alok didn't copy other educators' teaching styles. He developed his own authentic approach that connected with his students. And for content creators, finding your unique voice and presentation style can help you stand out in a crowded market. And Alok didn't just focus on teaching the curriculum. He emphasized understanding the why behind concepts. He would often spend extra time explaining the practical applications and real-world examples of physics principles. And this is the kind of thing that makes concepts stick in the student's mind. Now, another key element of PhysicsWallah's success was Alok's deep understanding of his audience. He knew exactly what challenges Indian students faced when preparing for competitive exams because he had already been through it himself. So learning point number 8 is deeply understand your audience's needs. Alok knew his students' pain points intimately, from struggling with difficult concepts to being unable to afford expensive coaching. And for content creators, truly understanding your audience's challenges, desires, and circumstances is crucial for creating content that genuinely serves them. When the COVID-19 pandemic hit in 2020, the education landscape in India changed dramatically. Schools and coaching centers closed, and millions of students were left without access to proper education. And this crisis became an opportunity for Alok. The demand for online education skyrocketed, and PhysicsWallah was perfectly positioned to meet it. And this brings us to learning point number 9. Position yourself to capitalize on market shifts. When the pandemic hit, PhysicsWallah already had years of content and credibility built up, and this allowed them to immediately capitalize on the surge in demand for online education. And for creators and business owners, this highlights the importance of building your foundation now so you're ready when market opportunities arise. In other words, make sure that you're in a position to strike while the iron is hot. And in 2020, Alok teamed up with Pratik Mashawari to develop the PhysicsWallah app and formally register the company. And the response was overwhelming. The app literally crashed on its launch day due to the massive influx of users. And within just 7 days, it had been downloaded over 300,000 times. But Alok didn't do this alone. Recognizing he needed technical expertise, he brought in Pratik Mashawari as a co-founder to handle the business and technology side, while he focused on content and teaching. And this brings us to learning point number 10. Know your strengths and fill your gaps. Alok recognized that scaling beyond YouTube required skills he didn't have. Rather than trying to do everything himself, he partnered with someone whose expertise complemented his own. And for content creators looking to build businesses, knowing when to bring in partners or team members with complementary skill set is absolutely crucial, because no man is an island and nothing big has ever been accomplished by a single person. And what makes the PhysicsWallah story so compelling isn't just the numbers, it's the business model. While competitors were charging premium prices for their courses, PhysicsWallah offered similar content at a fraction of the cost. And this brings us to learning point number 11, disrupt with pricing strategy. In other words, if everyone is zigging, you should zag, and if everyone is zagging, you should zig. PhysicsWallah's dramatically lower prices weren't just about being affordable. They were a disruptive business strategy that expanded their market and undercut competitors. And for creators looking to monetize, consider how pricing strategy can be a powerful differentiator in your market. And this commitment to affordability wasn't just good ethics, it was brilliant business strategy. By keeping prices low, PhysicsWallah could reach millions of students who couldn't afford other platforms. And this created a massive user base and strong word-of-mouth marketing. In 2021, as PhysicsWallah's popularity soared, Alok received a life-changing offer, a job with a salary package of 75 crore rupees, which is approximately $9 million a year from a competing edtech company. Now, most people would have jumped at such an opportunity, but Alok declined. His reason? He believed that joining a competitor would mean abandoning his mission of providing affordable education, and the competing companies charged much higher fees, which went against his core principle of accessibility. And this decision reveals something crucial about building a successful business. When you're driven by a genuine mission rather than just profit, you make different choices. And sometimes those choices lead to even greater success in the long run. So, learning point number 12 is a strong mission creates long-term value. Alok turned down instant wealth because it conflicted with his mission of affordable education. And this decision seems counterintuitive from a short-term financial perspective, but it preserved PhysicsWallah's brand, integrity, and unique market position. And for creators, having a mission beyond money can guide you to make decisions that create greater value in the long run. In June 2022, PhysicsWallah achieved what most startups only dream of. It raised $100 million in its first funding round from investors, and that gave it a valuation of $1.1 billion. This made PhysicsWallah India's 101st unicorn startup. And what's remarkable is that PhysicsWallah reached unicorn status while remaining profitable, a rare feat in the edtech industry where most companies were burning through cash to acquire customers. And while most edtech startups were focused on growth at all costs, PhysicsWallah took a different approach. They prioritize sustainable growth and profitability from day one. And this brings up learning point number 13. In many cases, profitability matters more than hyper growth. Both from a personal finance perspective as the business owner, you want to make sure that you make money whether the business fails or has massive success. And also from a long-term strategic standpoint, it can be better as well. And in an era where startups often prioritize growth over profitability, PhysicsWallah built a sustainable business model first. And this gave them control over their destiny and made them attractive to investors without becoming dependent on constant funding. So for content creators building businesses, focus on profitable, sustainable models rather than just rapid growth, which is something you have the luxury to do if you grow a large YouTube channel. Oh yeah, and we also have GPTs that can help with that, down in the description in the pinned comment below. Now, by this point, PhysicsWallah had expanded beyond just YouTube videos. The company now offered free YouTube content for a wide audience, premium app-based courses at affordable prices, offline coaching centers, starting with their first center in Kota, Rajasthan, study materials and books, test series and practice questions, and a community forum for students to interact and learn together. Now, this diversification of offerings shows another important strategy in PhysicsWallah's playbook. They created multiple revenue streams while maintaining their core mission. And as somebody who's in the alternative education space, I absolutely love this. They provided opportunities for everyone regardless of their financial status. So learning point number 14 is to build multiple revenue streams from your content. So PhysicsWallah started with free YouTube videos, but expanded to paid courses, physical centers, books, and more. And for content creators, this illustrates the power of leveraging your audience and expertise across multiple channels and formats to create diverse revenue streams. But the growth didn't stop there. In September 2024, PhysicsWallah raised another $210 million in funding, boosting its valuation to an astonishing $2.8 billion, more than double its valuation in just 2 years. And the company now has offline centers in over 100 cities across India, and its app has been downloaded more than 10 million times. And according to recent reports, PhysicsWallah is now preparing for an IPO in 2025 with a target valuation of $5 billion. Absolutely nuts. So what exactly makes PhysicsWalla's business model so successful? Let's break it down. The freemium model. PhysicsWalla operates on a freemium model. They provide tons of valuable content for free on YouTube, building trust and a massive audience. Then they offer premium features through paid courses that are still significantly more affordable than competitors. And this freemium approach has been central to PhysicsWalla's success. It allows them to reach millions of potential customers without spending a rupee on advertising. Learning point number 15 is to build an audience before monetizing. PhysicsWalla built a massive audience with free content before introducing paid offers. And this approach eliminated marketing costs and created a ready market for their premium products. And for creators, this emphasizes the importance of building an audience with free, valuable content before focusing on monetization. Low customer acquisition cost. While competitors were spending millions on marketing and celebrity endorsements, PhysicsWalla grew primarily through word of mouth and organic reach. And according to Pratik, PhysicsWalla's co-founder, they built communities over social media platforms like YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, etc., and then monetize them through the app. Next is efficient operations. PhysicsWalla has been careful about operational costs. They don't splurge on fancy offices or unnecessary expenses. Instead, they focus on what matters most: quality education and affordable pricing. And this is learning point number 16. Focus spending on what creates real value. Unlike competitors who spent lavishly on offices and marketing, PhysicsWalla directed resources towards content quality and keeping prices low. And for creators building businesses, this highlights the importance of directing your limited resources toward what actually creates value for your audience, not the superficial trappings of success. Community building. This is perhaps the most valuable aspect of PhysicsWalla's strategy, and it's how they built a passionate community around their brand. Students don't just see PhysicsWalla as a service. They see it as part of their identity. And this strong sense of community has been PhysicsWalla's secret weapon. When students feel like they're part of something bigger, they become a brand advocate. And they spread the word about your service far better than any paid marketing could. So learning point number 17 is community is the ultimate marketing strategy. PhysicsWalla's community of passionate students became their most powerful marketing force. Rather than spending millions on ads like competitors, they invested in building genuine connections with their audience. And for creators, fostering a strong community around your content can be more valuable than any paid marketing campaign. And additionally, which is something I work with a lot of my clients, if they are doing paid marketing, so many more people are going to discover your product because they're going to look you up online and discover your YouTube channel. So it's going to boost your paid marketing efforts as well. Next is diversification. As the company grew, they expanded beyond just physics to cover all subjects needed for competitive exams. They also diversified their offerings with different Walla brands for different needs. JEE Walla for engineering students, NEET Walla for medical students, Foundation Walla for school students, and Defense Walla for defense exam preparation, and many more specialized channels. Of course, no success story is without its challenges. As PhysicsWalla grew, it faced several hurdles. For one, talent poaching. As PhysicsWalla gained popularity, competitors tried to poach their best teachers by offering enormous salaries. In 2023, there was a public controversy when several teachers left PhysicsWalla with allegations of rival companies offering them crores of rupees to switch. And this challenge of retaining talent as you grow is something every successful business owner faces. PhysicsWalla's response was to focus on their mission and culture, while also creating opportunities for growth within the organization. Now, as PhysicsWalla grew, retaining talented teachers became a core challenge. For any growing business, protecting your core team is essential. So focusing on building a strong culture and creating growth paths that keep your best people committed to your mission. Next is scaling quality. Maintaining quality while growing rapidly is always a challenge. Some students and former teachers have raised concerns about whether PhysicsWalla can maintain its high standards as it continues to expand. Also, the offline transition. Moving from a purely online model to include offline centers brought new complexities in terms of infrastructure, staffing, and quality control. Competition with deep-pocketed rivals. Despite its success, PhysicsWalla competes with well-funded rivals like Byju's, which was once valued at $22 billion, and Unacademy. And these companies have significant resources to invest in content, technology, and marketing. And what's remarkable is how PhysicsWalla has navigated these challenges while staying true to its core mission of affordable education. And while some competitors like Byju's have faced major setbacks, Byju's valuation has collapsed amid financial troubles, PhysicsWalla continues to grow steadily. Now, as the edtech industry evolved, PhysicsWalla didn't stand still. They continuously adapted their approach based on student feedback and changing market conditions. And one of the most impressive aspects of PhysicsWalla's journey is how they've managed to adapt and evolve without losing sight of their core mission. When the pandemic restrictions eased and students began returning to in-person learning, they pivoted again. So, learning point number 19 is to adapt to changing market conditions. While staying true to their mission of affordable education, PhysicsWalla has continuously evolved their business model model in response to market changes. For creators, this highlights the importance of staying flexible and willing to adapt your approach while maintaining your core values. So instead of remaining purely online, they began opening physical coaching centers across India. But they did this strategically, maintaining their affordable pricing model and high-quality teaching standards. And they also recognize that different students have different teaching styles and preferences. Some thrive in online environments, while others need the structure and interaction of physical classrooms. And by offering both options, PhysicsWallah could serve a wider range of students. So learning point number 20 is offer multiple ways to consume your content. PhysicsWallah expanded from online only to a hybrid model that includes physical locations, accommodating different learning preferences. And for content creators, this demonstrates the value of making your content available in multiple formats to reach different audience segments. So what's next for PhysicsWallah? The company continues to expand its reach and offerings. Like I said before, in September of 2024, they raised $210 million with a valuation of $2.8 billion. And they plan to use this capital for expanding into the K-12 formal education segment, enhancing content and publications, pursuing mergers with community-driven education platforms, and consolidating their position in the education market. And according to recent reports, PhysicsWallah is preparing for an IPO in 2025, targeting a valuation of around $5 billion. Now, what's particularly notable about PhysicsWallah's growth strategy is how they've systematized their business. Alok is no longer personally teaching every class. He's built systems and teams that can scale beyond his personal capacity. So learning point number 21 is build systems to scale beyond yourself. And this is something that I really focus on when it comes to teaching people YouTube. Because the truth is, you can only go so far on your own, and you really need to have good systems and processes if you want to consistently upload content. For instance, on my main channel, Hummus, I only have to spend 1 hour a week to maintain the channel. All I do is record the videos. That's it. And this is a channel that makes multiple six figures in revenue per month. Now, as PhysicsWallah grew, they transitioned from being centered around one teacher to becoming a platform with hundreds of educators. And for content creators, this highlights the importance of building systems and teams that allow your business to grow beyond your personal capacity. So work on your business, not just in it. And perhaps most significantly, Alok Pandey has stated that an IPO is definitely in their future. As quoted by CNBC, he said, "An IPO is something that we will do. We want to have strong governance in the company, and we are working on that, forming a board of independent directors." Now, this transition from a YouTube channel to a publicly traded company would complete an extraordinary journey and potentially create enormous wealth for Alok and his team while continuing to democratize education in India.
What's happening, guys? In the editing process of this video, and I have an opportunity for a select group of people. So these are people who are serious about growing their personal brand on YouTube. So basically, we figured out recently how to grow a personal brand and combine all the upsides of a personal brand with the upsides of automation, right? Using AI, using things like this to basically grow your personal brand 10 times faster, which in the past used to take decades to do. And now you can do it significantly faster. And you can do this to get a better job. You know, we work with beginners that just want to get a better job with their personal brand. You can do this to make money as a side hustle. We work with a lot of people like that. We can do this to make more money if you already have a side hustle or a small business. Or if you're already crushing it on YouTube, we can help you crush it 10 times more. We've worked with people like that as well. I mean, I literally can show clients at each level. People that we've gotten from 0 to over 10K, 0 to like over 30K, from like 1K per month all the way up to 185K per month, from around 30K per month all the way up to over 500K per month. So literally at every single level, and it works for everyone in every situation. With that being said, we are only working with 3 to 5 people, and they have to be people who are very serious, right? People who are dedicated to making this work. So if you think you're that type of person, go ahead and apply it down in the description and the pinned comment below, and you can be part of our group of 3 to 5 that we help. So see you there. Have a good one.
Now let's talk about what really matters, the impact on students' lives. Beyond the business achievements, what makes PhysicsWallah's story truly special is the impact that it had on students' lives. Countless students who could never have afforded traditional coaching have secured spots in top colleges and universities thanks to PhysicsWallah. And the numbers are impressive. According to the company, 1 out of 6 students in India's medical colleges are PhysicsWallah alumni. Absolutely insane. And for engineering colleges, it's 1 out of 10. But the impact goes beyond just exam results. PhysicsWallah has democratized quality education in a country where access has historically been limited by geography and economic status. So learning point number 23 is create genuine impact to build a loyal audience. PhysicsWallah's real success comes from the tangible impact that it has on students' lives. And for years, he probably wasn't making nearly as much money as the value that he was giving. In other words, he was giving value and expecting nothing in return for years and years, and that built up what's known as goodwill. And goodwill compounds far faster than money. And for creators, this underscores the importance of providing real value that makes a difference in your audience's lives, not just entertaining or informing them temporarily. So what can you do for your audience that will provide real tangible value right now? For instance, I teach busy business owners how to grow and make money on YouTube, and a real piece of value I can provide to you right now is the free GPTs that have been trained with hundreds of hours of my coaching. And I always like to give value first and emphasize that completely free before I ever tell people that they can also apply for my one-on-one coaching. Now, as we wrap up this incredible story, let's reflect on some final lessons from Alok Pandey's journey. First of all, most people think that Mr. Beast is the richest YouTuber in the world, and I don't think that's true. I think it's this guy. And most people have no idea who he is. It's incredible because there's so many YouTubers that were much more privileged than Alok, but he's the GOAT. He's number one when it comes to money. And by the way, if you know another YouTuber who makes more money, definitely comment them down below. But from my research, I'm pretty sure he's number one. And the learning point here is personal branding is powerful, but it can be a double-edged sword. PhysicsWalla's initial success was built around Alok's personality and brand and also his teaching style. And while this created a strong connection with students, it also presented a challenge when it comes to scaling. So for creators, building your personal brand is valuable, but also consider how you can expand beyond yourself as you grow. Learning point number 25 is the right time to seek investment is after proving your model. PhysicsWalla didn't seek venture capital until they had already built a profitable business with substantial revenue. And for creators building businesses, this approach of proving your model before seeking investment can give you much better terms and maintain your control. Now, the journey of PhysicsWalla from a simple YouTube channel of a guy with a whiteboard and a phone to a 2.8 billion edtech giant offers a blueprint for content creators looking to build something significant. By focusing on providing genuine value, staying true to your mission, and making strategic business decisions, you too can transform your passion into a thriving business. Now, the story of Alok Pandey and PhysicsWalla is incredible, it's inspirational, and it also reminds us of what's possible when passion, purpose, and smart business strategy come together. From teaching in a small coaching center to building a $2.8 billion company, Alok has shown that you don't need to come from privilege, have venture capital backing from day one, or compromise your values to build something extraordinary. And for content creators, the lessons are clear. Focus on providing genuine value, build a community around your content, and be strategic about monetization. And your YouTube channel could be the foundation of something much bigger than you could ever imagine. Now, if you're serious about turning your YouTube channel into a real business, I'd like to invite you to book a strategy call with me or my team. We specialize in helping content creators monetize effectively and build sustainable businesses around their passion. And during this call, we'll analyze your current channel, identify monetization opportunities you might be missing, and create a customized plan to help you scale your impact and income. So just click the link in the description to schedule your session. Spots are limited, so don't wait if you're ready to take your channel to the next level right now. And if this video has inspired you, please give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who needs to hear the story, and subscribe for more content on turning your passion into a profitable business. Thank you for watching, and remember, your knowledge, skills, and passion have value. The question is, how will you share them with the world? Oh, and also check out this interview I did with one of my clients who I got from $30K per month all the way to over $500K per month on YouTube.